Have you noticed how almost impossible it is to just sit still without checking your phone, turning on the TV, or checking something? It's as if silence is uncomfortable and emptiness is unbearable. But why does boredom bother us so much? Today, neuroscience will show you that boredom is not the enemy. It's a powerful signal, the brain asking for something most of us have forgotten to offer: presence. Long before social media and notifications, boredom existed, and it had a purpose. In the brain, boredom is mainly processed by the prefrontal cortex, the region linked to attention and planning. When nothing new is happening, this area goes into a kind of a standby mode. It's as if the brain says, okay, nothing is demanding energy right now. Now what? What can I do with this? But the human brain hates prolonged inactivity because for it, lack of a stimulation is lack of purpose. So in milliseconds, it tries to fill the void with anything: an idea, a memory, an impulse to open your cell phone. Boredom, in fact, is the neural signal of the search for meaning. Science explains this through the dopaminergic system, the same system involved in motivation and pleasure. Dopamine is not the happiness hormone. It is the messenger of reward expectation. It fires when there is something new, interesting, or challenging on the horizon. When you have no stimulus, your dopamine levels drop, and the brain goes into novelty withdrawal. That's why you feel the almost automatic need to do something, anything. Boredom is, in neurochemical terms, a state of low dopamine. But be careful, the modern brain has been trained to seek quick relief, not real meaning. So instead of consciously dealing with boredom, we numb it with endless scrolling and micro doses of dopamine that don't really satisfy. Studies by Frontiers in Psychology show that during boredom, the brain activates the so-called default mode network. It is the system that kicks in when you are daydreaming, imagining, or reflecting on yourself. In other words, boredom is not an absence of mental activity. It is the moment when the brain turns inward. That's where ideas, creativity, and even self-awareness are born. But if the brain doesn't get space for that, if you fill every second with external stimuli, it loses that ability. The mind becomes overstimulated and shallow, always busy but rarely present. Psychologically, boredom is uncomfortable because it brings you face to face with something that dopamine can't solve: yourself. When there are no distractions, thoughts, memories, and emotions that were previously suppressed arise. That's why boredom often causes anxiety. It's not having nothing to do, it's having to feel what's inside. The mind tries to escape this silence because in it, the unconscious speaks. And the ego, accustomed to noise and productivity, does not know how to deal with it. But it is precisely in this space that the brain reorganizes itself. Boredom is like a cognitive reboot, a chance to clear the mind and make room for new neural connections. The good news? Boredom can become a powerful tool for mental balance. Neuroscience calls this tolerance for inactivity, the ability to remain present even without immediate stimuli. This increases activity in the anterior cingulate cortex, a region involved in mindfulness and emotional control. You can practice this with simple exercises. Put your phone away for a few minutes and just observe your thoughts. Write down any ideas that come to mind. The brain loves to create when it's not busy. Walk without headphones and notice how you feel. Over time, boredom ceases to be a nuisance and becomes a gateway, a space where the mind stops searching and begins to perceive. The next time you feel bored, remember, it's not emptiness trying to swallow you up. It's your brain asking to breathe. Boredom is not the end of motivation. It is the beginning of awareness, because sometimes the silence you avoid is exactly what your brain needs to hear most. If this content has added value to your life in any way, help us by leaving your like and subscribing to show us that we are doing a good job. See you soon.